So we've seen the sign-off wrap working, and I'd just like to take a little bit of time to say how this has been created. So it's a wrap, and we've created it from Excel. So I can go over to Excel here and show you this is the Excel file that is used to create this wrap. Now what we can see here is this kind of shows and reveals itself depending on whether it needs to. We can see maybe the top part of this, and if we'd have kept increasing this list, we would have revealed more and more of this area here. So we could select up to 10 people to work on this particular activity. In this case we only used one. There's the next block is the scheduled material block, and again this kind of, we've got 3 pieces of scheduled material, so we've only shown 3, but we could have up to 10 pieces, and that fits in with the job descriptions that we've been given. We've also got a section here that reveals itself if there is any arising materials that are specified. So in fact we saw a little bit of that there. Then we've got another block which wasn't seen on this particular job. It says it's about tools, so quite often a job description might include that special tooling is required, and some of those special tools might even require a serial number. Some will and some won't, depending upon the complexity of the tool that you're using. So something like an electrical multimeter, that would have a calibration number or a serial number that needs to be entered to show that it's within calibration. And using those tools, quite often we'll have to make some scheduled measurements. So if we have scheduled measurements, then we get told a paragraph of where the measurement is described. That's a paragraph in the job description. We're told what we're going to measure, what the units are. We're given a minimum and a maximum value, and then the user will have to pop it in this input cell here, and he'll be told whether that's right or wrong. And we've also got a section here for so there's some measurements that arise in case of one of these checks that goes wrong. You might have some additional measurements to make as a result of that. So that's called that's arising work. We've got a little area here that's a special workflow. So there are jobs that don't necessarily fit into this template of the standard job. And for those, we go off and we create a special workflow form. So it's a special wrap that's specially designed to do a particular job, and that might be it could be something like a brake test or something like that, which has got a special workflow to follow. In that case, this would give you a link to that special workflow, and you would have to sign that off before you could continue. Down here, this is the area where we put comments. This is the media upload area. This is the whether what we're going to pass. And this is also saying that some jobs require a specific competence. So the system's part of a whole competence management system. So we might want electrical people. So this is competence electrical, competence mechanical, and there might be a reason for asking for a specific signature. So it takes care of all that too. So in our case here, we've just asked for a mechanical sign-off. So the only people with a mechanical competence can actually make that signature happen and close the job out. So there's just a little bit of background as to how we've created this form. And the other thing that I'll just show you is that when we create these forms, we inject some values into here, and the values that we inject are the competence we're going to inject. We're going to put a target number of minutes for the task, the number of people in the team that are required. We're going to put in an instruction to generate the scheduled materials, the material arising. It's going to give us a count of the number of paragraphs of scheduled work and the number of paragraphs of arising work, and that helps us work out an estimate of the target time. This is where we pop in all the tools that are required. We pop in here all the scheduled measurements, all the arising measurements, and this is the special workflow form. So by putting values in here, that kind of pre-populates, just using Excel logic, just pre-populates this area of the table. And this is how, in fact, the RAP is working. It's working very much like the spreadsheet. So it's all, if you can understand spreadsheets, you can understand how these electronic forms are working. That's what we believe. So it's a technology that's accessible to lots of people.